had a boyfriend once, and it was the first boyfriend I ever had who had a house. He moved into a whole house. And he put one day he was putting an American flag up the flagpole, and I said, I got nervous. And I said, what are you doing? And he goes, I'm putting up the American flag. And I said, why? And he said, because I love America. And then I was like, oh. And then I walked to my car and I called my sister. And because I love America too. I love America, but not like above all other places or anything. And I call her and I said, why do I feel so uncomfortable that my boyfriend is putting an American flag up at his house? And she said, because Jews have an innate fear of nationalism. And I was like, oh, that makes a lot of sense. But that USA's number one kind of fervor is, it's so scary. It's really my favorite combination in comedy, arrogant ignorance, you know? But it is. It's just this kind of like closed, xenophobic, like, we're number one and needing us to be number one. Number one in what? Juvenile diabetes? Isn't it smart? And that's what I loved about Bernie, and people who go, he's a socialist. Well, I don't know, do you like firefighters? Like, do you like schools?
Right.
These are socialist programs. Democracies thrive from that. If you love democracy, then you have to protect it from the oligarchy, which I did have to look up, and it means all the billionaires running things, which is how it is.
One of the themes of this election is that the bar has been lowered to an astonishing. It's been very lowered. But I'd like to deal with, if we could, a little bit like the causes of Trump, because like Trump is to me a symptom. I mean, it's like
he's a mirror.
Yeah. I mean, how do you think we got here? Seriously, like, Donald Trump has been a loudmouth and a jackass on the American scene for like 30 plus years.
He's like the whitehead that the GOP has been growing for decades.
Yes.
You know, it always makes me think of this brilliant Louis C.K. joke he had a million years ago. The racist, Boston guy was the example, and this racist guy could be in a room of all black people and be like, look at all these minorities. I'm the only majority here. But it is interesting, these people that are very threatened. Other than put aside the horror that there was ever a possibility, and maybe a possibility that he could be president. As far as he is the Republican nominee.
Sort of.
Put that aside. Put a pin in that. He's kind of great in the way that Jews. It's great when you see anti-Semitism, out in the open. Because, like when Mel Gibson said stuff about Jews and all that stuff, Jews love that because it's something you can point to and not just this gas in the air, you know what I mean? It's something you can point to, and it's, when things are out in the light, then my therapist says darkness cannot exist in the light. Or what Mr. Rogers says, if it's mentionable, it's manageable. So, it's good when it... And Donald Trump embodies real feelings and reflects a real part of this country. Mm-hmm. The people that love going, USA! USA! There's something very scary about that, but at least you can point to him and it's there and it's real and it's tangible, and hopefully that will be a good thing. Maybe it won't be. Maybe the next person will be, like Pence. Pence, watching that vice president debate was terrifying because he comes off great, but he's a monster.
Yes, I love that Pence, through all the last 48 hours, has emerged as the possible guy who will heal the nation. I just love that. Like, it really shows how much everything is relative. It's like if you are going clothing shopping and you see one hideous outfit after another, and then you see one thing that looks semi-hideous, suddenly you buy that one. And that's Mike Pence. Mike Pence is that fucking ugly jacket at H&M. We've been there for like going up and down the escalator